Hi everyone, Jus4SweetZ here. Today we're going to make a holiday appetizer, and with the holiday Christmas right around the corner, I like to share some ideas in different directions, and today it's an appetizer idea. And we're going to make one that is very simple but pretty and elegant looking and delicious on top of all of it. So what we are going to make is a prosciutto wrapped asparagus bundle, and they're very easy to make and they're really delicious. So you can actually serve them with a holiday meal, or you can put them out as an appetizer. I've had them served both ways. So what I did is I went to the store and got some asparagus, and this one particular store that I went to, they had the little skinny asparagus. You can see that the stems are really thin on both directions. So I learned a long time ago that when you pick out asparagus, the larger the stalk, the more tough the asparagus. So the more slender the stalk, the more tender the asparagus. So this is actually perfect asparagus because it's nice and thin, and it's gonna make for a really tender appetizer. And I don't know if you find, but sometimes the thicker, I have noticed that you can bite into asparagus that's really tough and stringy, and these are not like that at all. So I have pre-washed these and I have cut the stems off, and I usually cut them usually about not quite halfway, but I usually cut at least a quarter or so of the stalk off. So let's go ahead and get started. I've pre-washed my asparagus, and then at the same store you can buy prosciutto that's already all sliced and everything. And basically prosciutto is an Italian smoked ham, and so it's already cooked, or it's smoked, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to cook this in the oven. So you want to heat your oven up to 400 degrees, and I have my other ones in the oven right now. Have it heated up to 400 degrees, and then have yourself a baking dish. I'm actually just looking for a spatula right now. Have yourself a baking dish, and I'm just using a glass baking dish, and I'll show you these when we're all done. So this is pretty warm. You don't need to oil it or anything because there is some oil in the asparagus itself, or not in the asparagus, I'm sorry, in the prosciutto, and we're going to be adding some oil to that as well. So let's get wrapping. And what I usually do is take about 5 or 6 stalks together and just kind of bundle them. And you can pre-bundle them if you want to, or do it as you go. It doesn't matter. And they don't have to be precise. The only thing you want to make sure of is you want to be sure that your asparagus is all facing in the same direction. So you don't want, stems, everything mixed up. Just make sure everything's going in the same direction. All right, so we have our little bundles here. And these are so delicious. I made ours with dinner last night. I served them over a pasta chicken Alfredo, but it was really good. All right, so go ahead, and you're going to have to pull real slowly because the prosciutto breaks, but don't get frustrated. It's okay. And then what you want to do is take your little bundle, and I'm just doing it right on the plastic bag that I stored my asparagus in. And you're going to take that bundle and you're going to stick the stems. You want the pretty tree-like edges sticking out. So you're going to wrap it just like you would like a crescent roll or a burrito. You just want to wrap it really tight and wrap it around the asparagus, just like that. All right, and you're going to put it with the seam side down so that when that cooks, it seals together. So let's take another one of our little bundles here. And like I said, just 5, 6, whatever you want to grab, depending on the size of the asparagus as well. If you have larger asparagus, more than likely you're going to want to grab just like 3 stalks of it. So it just depends. Right, lay that prosciutto down on, let me back this up a little bit so you can see. I'm stuck. There we go. Okay, so we have that flat right there. I want you to be able to see. Maybe we should back that up just a tad. There we go. All right, again, take your bundle, make sure everything's facing the same direction. Put the stems to where some of them are sticking out, and we're just going to wrap it. Just like a burrito. Just wrap, wrap, wrap. As tight as you can. There you go. Take that stem side and put it down. All right. Let's grab another piece of our prosciutto. I'm going to do 4 bundles for you, then we'll season them up. And then I'll show you what they look like after they're all cooked. And like I said, see, it tears sometimes. Don't get frustrated. That's just the nature of this meat. It's sliced so thinly that it will do that. Okay, so take your bundle here. Wrap it around. Again, make sure you've got some of, you've got the flower of the asparagus sticking out. That's actually the best part of the asparagus. Okay, seam side down. And our last one. Holiday appetizers are fun. And, ones like these are really good because they're not so filling and, bready and horrible for you. You've got a thin slice of meat and some delicious, healthy asparagus. So this is a pretty healthy holiday appetizer. So these are good to make. And they're not, like I said, they're not super filling. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to put that right there. Let's move this bag. And then I'm going to show you how I season these up. You just want to put them in a baking dish. You can put them on a tray, a glass pan, whatever you want. Now, I am going to use Wild Tree Smoky Bacon Grapeseed Oil. And please don't get discouraged if you don't have it. I'm not saying you have to use it. This is just what I do. And I go through bottles of this, and I actually purchase it through Linda from Linda's Pantry. And I've actually been a Wild Tree user for a very long time. Actually longer than I've known Linda, and I've always loved their product, and so I've always had it in my kitchen, and I just happen to purchase more of it now from her because we work together and we believe in the product so much. But with that being said, this is not a sales pitch. This is basically showing you what I do, and I will give you alternatives to it. So I kind of take my hand over the bottle because these don't have a shaker on them, and I'm just going to shake some of the smoky bacon grapeseed oil over the top. You don't need a whole lot. And if you do not have grapeseed oil, I have used and do use still, depending on the flavor I want, just regular extra virgin olive oil. So replace that grapeseed oil if you don't have it with extra virgin olive oil, and you'll get a great flavor out of that as well. In fact, that's what I did last night because I didn't want the bacon flavor with our dinner, so I just used olive oil on ours. Okay, next you can use, now again, this is from Linda's Pantry. It's not anything that she sells, but she shows you. I buy it from her, but she has a video on black truffle salt, and I like to use it a lot. It has such a wonderful flavor, and I get this from her. And so I'm just going to sprinkle that black truffle salt over the top. Now you can use any brand of black truffle salt you want, or you can make your own. And if you don't have that, you can use kosher salt or regular sea salt. And you just want to spray a little bit on top. Now, the prosciutto has a natural saltiness because it is a smoked ham, and so you don't want to overdo it because you don't want them to be too salty. But I like the taste of that truffle in there. Now, if I don't have that, like I said, I use sea salt, kosher salt, or you can also use pink Himalayan salt, and this one grinds right over the top, and that's really delicious as well. And then I'm going to take my pepper, and we're going to go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit of black pepper on there. Now, I wish I had a pepper grinder because I do fresh cracked black pepper on it, but I don't. I need to get one. And so I'm just using some regular ground pepper and just sprinkle that on. And you're done. All you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stick these beautiful little bundles in a 400-degree oven for 10 minutes. And you can keep an eye on them. If you think they need to cook a little bit longer, great. If not, you still want your asparagus to be tender and a little bit crispy, and you don't want the prosciutto to be overdone, but you want it to have a little bit of brownness to it. So usually right around 10 minutes is good on 400 degrees. Stick those in the oven and let those get going, and they make beautiful little bundles of heaven. that people love to eat during the holidays, and they look really pretty too. So I'll show you what they look like here. Took these straight out of the oven. You heard me when I was there, and there they are, all cooked, look almost exactly the same. We've got the prosciutto that's a little bit crispy on the edges, and you can see that the asparagus is tender, but yet it still has a little bit of crunch to it. And I'll take a bite so you can hear. So you can hear the crunch. I'm crunching right by the camera. But they're so good. But please really, really be careful on how much salt you sprinkle on these, because prosciutto has so much saltiness on its own. Let me chew this up. These are so good. I'm going to take them for lunch today. Now, one thing you could do is just, you know, kind of go along the edge of the pan and put a bunch of them together, and if you, or the plate, and if you use a circle plate, you can go all the way around and make it look like a wreath, and maybe throw, you know, some red bell pepper or some cherry tomatoes on top to make it look like you have like a little bit of a bow there. But just use a round plate and go along the edges. And you can put like a nice dip in the middle if you want to. You can use a sweet chili sauce. You could use ranch, but I'll tell you what, these are perfect on their own. I don't think you need anything with them as far as dipping goes. I prefer them just the way they are. So anyway, these are our holiday appetizer prosciutto wrapped asparagus spears, and they're delicious, they're quick, they're easy, and you'll really impress your guests. You can pre-make these the night before, just roll them, and then all you have to do is pop them in the oven and they're ready to go. And people are going to think you spent hours on them. You can also serve these over pasta or with chicken or as a side to your holiday meal. So anyway, wanted to share that little tidbit with you. And again, make sure when you look for your asparagus, the thinner the stalk, the more tender the asparagus is. And if you like this video, I would love for you to share this on your Facebook page with your family and friends. Please join my Facebook page, Jus4SweetZ. Or I will probably be posting this one today on Recipe Book, which is my group page. And you can join Recipe Book as well. Go on there and post some of the recipes you like to do, and they do not have to be videos. You can just type them up. I'm still chewing asparagus, I'm sorry. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. We have a lot of fun holiday things coming up. I'm trying to get them all done before the season, but I'll tell you what, I have so many ideas, it's hard for me to do them all. If I can't do more than one video a day, and at this point I can't. So I'm going to get as many of those out there as I can. So until next time, next video, have a wonderful day, everyone, and God bless.